Oh my goodness. Hello, soul friends. I tried to wave, but this thing is up here in my way. This is Miriam. Welcome back to my channel. Today's pick a card reading is going to be all about what message do you have from the fairy realm, the fairy realm. And so we're going to be using this oracle deck. I'm just showing you the book because if I were to try to have you look at the box is huge. And within the first day of buying this deck of cards, like the box completely fell apart. And so I do still keep the cards in the box, but I mean, like it's completely, I would need to like re-glue it back together for it to be normal again. So the fairy realm, one of the things I know about beings from the astral plane is that if they are bad, a bell ring will get rid of them. So I have 4 different bells here. This one is huge. This is my outdoor like iron bell. We call it Big Bell. And then we have little bells as well. So group 1, you have this little teeny tiny bell, and I'll let you listen to it. It's probably the quietest one out of all because it's a necklace. It still jingles quite a bit when you walk around with it, like wearing it. Okay. Group 2, you get the big iron bell. It actually is, there we go. But the sound of that one definitely travels. Group 3, you have the little ring for luck Irish bell with the little cat ring. Sounds a lot like a cowbell. Well, cowbell. And then group 4, you have this little silver bell with the little pentacle star on it. All right, for tarot today, we shall be using... Heck if I know. Let's go ahead and say... Oh, another giant box to contend with. Ugh. And of course, all this stuff's going to fall out around it. Let's go ahead and use this deck. Alrighty. Go ahead and pause if you still need to, this one's being eclipsed. If you still need to like look at the bells and think about the bells, go back and listen to the bells, the bells, the bells. Okay. To quote Poe, the bells, the bells, the bells. We'll see you in your individual readings. Bye. Hi, group 1. So if you picked the little Celtic knot bell, all right, let's see what your spirit guides have to say to you from the fairy realm. The fairy realm. Okay. I'll flip this on over. We have Queen Onog. Unog? I'll never be able to pronounce these properly. Isn't she so pretty? And that looks like fall is the season, but we're going to get the book out just in case. Queen Onog, the spring court, the fall court is what we're looking for, I think. Let me pause while I find it. Okay, I was correct. It is the autumn court in this card. The Queen of Autumn Court, Unag. I don't know. The card shows a gorgeous fairy woman clad in glittering silver with long golden hair. She stands before a fairy hill at sunset. Onach or Una, let's just call her Una, is queen of the Western Fairies in Ireland and the wife of King Finvara. She is more beautiful than any woman on the earth. Her golden hair sweeps the ground, and she is robed in silver gossamer, glittering as if with diamonds, though they are dewdrops that sparkle all over it. She lives in Knockshirgona and the fairy mound of Onog. east of Logderg. I know I'm saying all of that wrong. Okay. Oh my gosh, there's like a whole thing in here. Let's go to the meaning. Okay. When Queen Una appears in the cards, she indicates the development of practical skills, finding solutions to practical problems, help, good advice, and friendship. The card may betoken a real woman in the life of the questioner, a woman who is clever and shrewd, practical and helpful, with a great deal of common sense. Okay. We're going to stop there. So, practical things. So for some of you, I feel like this is the air that you embody, is that Una air, okay? If you're like, there's no way that's me, there could be a message about a practical woman coming forward to help you who embodies this. You might already know who she is, or she might be on her way. Like, to me, it feels like when you're like new at a job and there's like that older seasoned veteran that works there that you're like, oh yes, I will learn much from you. And you will learn much from this person. She might be very attractive, or she might just have that air of practicality. I also get the sense that this type of personality kind of speaks their mind, even if people don't like it. Kind of like Queen of Swords in tarot. What else? Queen Una. Some of you might have been born in the fall. Some of you might have something big coming towards you in the fall. I am feeling school vibes, not gonna lie. Starting over, somebody said. Some of you might be starting over. Not like starting over, like moving, maybe necessarily, but starting over in the sense of like doing things differently for yourself. So like, for example, if you used to just smile and nod and hope that there is no conflict involved in your situation, you're like, forget that noise, that got me nowhere. So like, you're done with being polite, if this is the spirit that's embodying you. If it's not, then that woman or physical presence is coming in to teach you to do that. Okay, let's get some cards for you. We have the 8 of Wands. Fast, positive change coming into your life. 6 of Wands, being admired and rewarded. The Liar, or the Devil card. The 8 of Pentacles. And then final advice. Okay, so with this Devil card, I feel like those of you who are embodying that new persona or new characteristic, you're gaining confidence. Like, the more you rock that energy of like practically just owning yourself, not disowning yourself, practically owning yourself, right? Owning yourself in practicality, being logical and knowing that you're perfect the way you are. That's going to bring in confidence and change and admiration to you. And people are going to want to knock you down. All right. And it's not just people that want to knock you down. We can tend to try to knock ourselves down. And the Devil card can kind of do that. It's called the Liar card in this deck. And that kind of speaks to me as like lying to ourselves, letting our doubts drag us down, letting our less than productive habits bringing us down. So for example, you know, you go to like an AA meeting and there's that new guy that just showed up and he's like jittering and looks ticked off, and eventually is just like, I knew this was BS, and just gets up and storms out. Um, in that sense, it was like the person was kind of lying to themselves, like waiting for an excuse to be like, see, I knew I didn't need to come here, that kind of thing. And then they get up and leave. You've probably seen people do that in other situations, of just kind of like, I knew no one would believe in me. I knew this wasn't going to work out, that kind of self-sabotage. There's also people who will try to drag you down the more successful you get. And so your guides are saying to just put your head down and keep working forward. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. People are going to do what they're going to do. Don't worry about them admiring you. Don't worry about them trying to drag you down. Let go of both, is what your guides are saying. Final advice from your guides. 8 of Cups. Yeah, walking away from negative people, negative energy. And that doesn't mean just like holding yourself up in your house and never talking to anybody again, because everybody, can turn into that energy for you. I think a lot, they might start out okay, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I'm gonna show you what a snake I really am. And you're like, great. I was really hoping that wasn't gonna happen. The 8 of Cups is about walking away from that kind of negative emotional baggage and moving into something new. Okay, and with that, I shall leave you. Let me know if this is helpful in the comment section. Give me topic ideas there as well. If you'd like to book a private reading, there are ways to do so in the description box. My friends, we'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye. Hi, group 2. So if you picked the big bell, sit that right there, nice and big and dingy ding it a couple of times. All right, let's go ahead and get into what your overall fairy energy is. We have the 7 of maybe summer, maybe spring. I can't tell by the borders what season they're in. Azrai. I will butcher these names, so if you know how to pronounce them better than me, you can always tell me. Just don't shame me. Okay, so I'm going to get the book out and read about your little fairy folk coming through. But I'm going to pause because it takes me forever to, because then they have the seasons and everything on there. But as you can see, they're in black and white. So it makes knowing what pictures you're looking at very hard to look up. So, all right, one moment. Okay, so this is the Spring Court, one of the Spring Court cards, the number 7. This card shows a delicate young water fairy at the edge of a pool in twilight. She reaches... Oh, I thought it was a guy. Okay, she just has short hair. She reaches towards a dragonfly in the foreground. Are blue irises. Okay. Azrai are small and dainty water fairies found in the west of England. So some of you might have heritage in the west of England, whether you know it or not. They melt into a pool of water when captured or exposed to sunlight. Okay. Let's go ahead and look at the meaning. We have... When Fragile Astra appears in your card, she indicates some kind of moral choice, perhaps simply between right and wrong, or perhaps between the spiritual and the material. Listen to your conscience. Any choice should be carefully examined and its repercussions considered. You might greedily grasp what appears to be glittering prize, only to have it turn to ashes in your hands. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, not gonna lie, right off the bat, I'm getting some weird romance vibes. Being with this person could be considered morally right or, morally wrong. I should have said the second one first. So like immediately like affairs came to mind. What else? Like getting a crush on somebody who's with somebody already, or getting a crush on somebody when you're already committed to somebody. That's definitely coming through. I'm also just seeing this like kind of admiration and excitement and like sort of passion for like a new friend in your life. It doesn't have to be romantic. But like this, you might be talking about them a lot. Like your friends and family might notice you've been talking about them a lot. And your guides are saying to like proceed with caution, that things might not be as perfect as they appear. For those of you who are looking at a choice, that could be the choice of pursuing this person. If you're in that group I just mentioned, it could be the choice of something else, like the choice, something just popped into my mind. Like when you work somewhere and you see somebody doing something illegal or wrong, and you have the choice of like, do I tell somebody and then I'm a narc, or do I like keep it to myself, but then, I didn't tell anybody and something bad might happen because of it, right? And so that's also coming through for you. What else is coming through, Spirit? I'm not feeling a spiritual choice versus an earthly choice, or like choosing spiritual stuff over logic, unless you're just so spiritual that it always takes place in your mind. What's the spiritually right thing to do? Like you might even pick your jobs that way. You might pick your partners that way, your home, like what's the most spiritually sound choice to make? All right. So that's 3 scenarios coming through, sort of. So let's do a little nootski here for me. And you didn't have to see something like illegal at work, but just something, making a choice between like letting someone know that something wrong is happening, as opposed to staying silent, and like both of those coming with their own weight of like no good deeds goes unpunished, getting involved in something you'd rather not be involved in, etc. and so forth. And then spiritual. Okay. Well, let's get you some tarot. Goodness. We have this feels like 2 cards stuck to, it is 2 cards stuck together. I wonder how long I've had this without knowing. Oh, great. These cards have different names than what they normally have. Let me go check the book. The forge in this deck is temperance. So balance, finding balance between the material and the spiritual world is coming through. So that spirit element is coming through a little bit stronger than it was to me at the beginning with this card. Temperance can also be about keeping yourself even Steven. Like some of you might be named Steven or know somebody named Steven. But, keeping yourself on an even keel. Being loyal to family and people who have been close to you. So that definitely feels like a message coming through for those who might be considering having an affair. If you aren't in a family situation, like you're single, but they're in a marital or committed relationship, this would indicate that this person would end up choosing their committed family over you. And then if you are the one who is also married or committed, this is talking about your guides like reminding you to be loyal to those you love. And I'm not saying that like if you're miserable, you should just stay with somebody forever, because that's not fair to you. It's not fair to that person. And so, if you feel like you want out of your relationship, that's okay. The main thing is like sneaking and lying can end up bringing in some pretty negative energy towards you and can leave you with many enemies. So that's also coming through. For those who saw something at work and you're not sure what to do, your guides are actually saying like it might be worth keeping silent if that's what keeps you and your family and those that you care about the most safe. So that's kind of, they're not saying to be a hero, right? All right, let's get some more. Keeper of spells. They're saying that you'll know when to make action. Those of you who are kind of embarking on this idea of an affair, you could feel like you're in love at this time, but like that very fiery, infatuated, sort of love. I feel like this is like way too zoomed in. That's better. Okay. We have Ten of Cups. Again, they're reminding you to take care of your family first, or take care of those closest to you first. And they're saying that over spirituality as well. Even though you're trying to choose between logic and spirituality, they are saying to pick the people you love the most in this situation. And then we have, for final advice, the Seeker, or the Page of Cups. Your guides are showing that you might be better suited to be friends with the person that you're crushing on, or they might be better suited to be a friend to you. That might not be possible because the attraction and things might have been said or done at this point that can't be taken back. But they're definitely showing that, like, if you engage in this, like, affair with somebody, it's going to end up messy, as most affairs usually do. I don't usually see them work out very well. And that's what I mainly talk to people about in this career, are those types of sticky situation relationships, complicated relationships, situationships, etc. And so if it's like, oh, I can't stop thinking about them, I can't stop, book a reading with me. I'll tell you how to get your energy back, if that's what you would like. But yeah, they're coming through pretty clear with that warning. If this is about something that you've seen at work that you feel like maybe you should tell someone, your guides are again saying to, like, focus in on what you care about most. If it's going to affect them, it might be worth it to be quiet. Okay. Now, if we're dealing with, like, you witnessed a murder or something, like you need to tell somebody, and then yeah, probably you should tell somebody. I totally get it. I'm not saying to break the law, but I am saying that if it's like a small thing that's just going to bring you more drama, it might be worth it just to kind of cling to the things at home that you care about and let that go. And then for the spiritual choice people, they're showing that having a connection to the logical things in your life is what helps bring about that spiritual connection. So it is possible to have both. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. If this was helpful, tell me how in the comment section. Give me topic ideas there as well. If you'd like to book a private reading, there are ways to do so in the description box. My friends, take care. We'll see you in the next one. Bye. Hi, group 3. So if you picked the little bell for luck with the little cat, let's go ahead and get into your reading all about what the fairy folk have to say to you. Ooh, we have a reversal, which we do take as a reversal in these. We have the 7 of Summer, Will-o'-the-Wisp. Okay, so let's go ahead. That figure does appear to be naked, but they do have their naughty bits covered. If it's a man, if it's a woman, whoops. Okay, let's go ahead and look in the book to see Will-o'-the-Wisp number 7. 777. There it is. The image shows a little fairy with a lantern flitting over marshy ground. Will-o'-the-wisps are bog fairies who appear as curious lights, usually seen flickering in the distance over swamps and marshes. They jump and dance along with the aim of leading travelers astray. So you could be... someone could be trying to lead you astray, but it is the reversal. So let's go ahead and see what the reversal side means. Okay, yes, the will-o'-the-wisp reversed indicates faithless friends, false or broken promises, and unreliability. Working with them, not recommended, because they try to lead you astray. Okay, so it is somebody trying to lead you astray. Some of you might have a friend group, or just a certain friend who's very into you, very interested in you, very attentive to you, maybe even. But if you analyze the things they say and the things you do, you'll kind of start to notice that they're not everything that they try to present themselves as. It's sort of like that kind of friend who acts like they're saying everything for your best benefit, but it doesn't matter how harshly they say it. And then it tends to always be negative, like, Like, say you're, working with young people and there's like a kid that you're very, very, bonded with, that you're trying to help, etc. Nothing bad or shady, but like, just somebody you're bonded with and they're like, oh, well, be careful, that kind of thing. Or like you're in a new relationship and they go, oh, be careful, uh, they might plant little seeds of doubt in your mind to try to get you to self-sabotage. It's very sneaky energy. And for some of you, I feel like it's just one person. For others, I feel like it's more than one. Some of you, I do feel like a little bit of a loose connection here that's romantic, but the person is trying to lead you astray, not like lure you in to like cherish and honor you, if that makes sense. So the main message here is to not trust anyone who's fitting that category, anybody who's fitting that description. People can always change. I usually say they usually don't, and you just have to take care of yourself. You have to be careful. So let's get some tarot. This is a short reading that I'm trying to do. Okay, final advice. Oh, there it is. Okay. All righty. First off, we have the Enchanted Wheel, or the Wheel of Fortune. Your guides are saying, oh, these pretty magpies. I love magpies. Your guides are saying that even though this news might be coming to you as kind of a shock or a disappointment, they're saying that you're learning this at the exact right time, that you're learning exactly what you need to learn from it, and that it will make you stronger overall. And this card also kind of indicates that the person that you can't trust isn't really going to be able to inflict that much damage on you. Like they haven't gotten that far or that close to you yet. We have the Five of Pentacles. No, yes. This is about fear of abandonment. Some of you might not want to cut this person loose because you fear being alone, that you fear that they're all you have. Okay. If this is romantic, it might feel like they're the only one who will accept you romantically in the way that they do, or they're the only person who will see you the way that you feel like you need to be seen, etc. and so forth. Be aware of that feeling about anyone, because when you feel trapped sort of, or fear of abandonment all the time, but yet you feel like, oh, I couldn't do any better, like that's usually because someone's been in your ear telling you that in some way, or showing you that in some way, that you're not good enough, that you better like let them get away with whatever it is that they like to get away with, because otherwise they might leave you high and dry and then you'll be all alone out in the cold, right? Somebody could be trying to lead you astray with money. Okay, so if this person starts asking for money, big red flag, don't give it to them. Their reaction when you say no will honestly make you feel like, oh, I did make the right decision, because they're probably going to get nasty with you if you don't give them what they want. If there's something else they're after, don't give it to them and see how they react. And their reaction could be much more nasty than what you're expecting, because it's like that scene in the old Lord of the Rings movies where like Frodo's like, hey, Bilbo, how's it going? Bilbo's like, oh, you got my ring on, can I look at it for a second? Can I just put it on for a second? Can I just hold it for like a little while? And he's like, no, I better not. And he like tucks it back down into his shirt, and like Bilbo's face turns all evil, and he like hisses and like lunges at him. And then he's like, oh, what's wrong with me? And every kid in the theater was like traumatized. My little brother was one of them. It feels like that vicious part of them will come out as like, why don't you do what I want you to do? Kind of thing. So keep your eye on that. If you feel like they're pushing you a little too far, asking for money, and they will. If they're that type of person, nothing's ever going to be good enough. They're just going to want more and more and more. And they're going to try to lead you more and more and more astray, maybe try to isolate you from people who knew better. There might be people who didn't like them from the get and you kind of discounted them or maybe even got upset with them, and you might need to go back and revisit that with them to see what they were actually seeing. Child of Challenges, which would be the Page of Swords, sorry. And if I ever say the wrong ones and you guys know this deck, then we were just saying it because it was meant to happen because I'm dumb and I can't remember which, whenever they change the names on tarot cards, I'm like, which one has that? So the Child of Challenges, someone is watching you closely. You might be watching them. If this is a romance situation and they're kind of like, they come in close and then they pull away and they come in close and they pull away, that's part of them leading you astray. You might even like watch their social media or check in on their social media to see if they're posting angry posts, if they're saying things that make you feel like it's going to be related to you somehow. They're finally going to like get rid of you and put you in this category. That's always this like fear that you might be being hyper vigilant about. Someone on this side might be watching you very closely, seeing what you need, what you want, where you are, who your friends are, and trying to figure out a way to keep a hold on you by knowing the private details of your life. Sketchy. Okay, we also have the Four of Wands. The Four of Wands shows that you have people in your life that you can trust. I know this is like a scary reading. I think that you'll know who this person is because I feel like you're not going to want to believe it, this person or persons. It's like you want it to be this, right? But instead you're worried about this all the time. Instead, this is happening, okay? And you deserve the Four of Wands energy. You deserve to celebrate with friends and to have balance. And if you kick people like this to the curb, eventually this will be what finds you, okay? Final advice. Ace of Cups in reverse. This card is, see how the swan's reflection is like more grandiose than the reality of it? That's what this in reverse is meaning to me. It's like you want so badly to believe that this is what you're getting when really that's an illusion, okay? I know that's super disappointing for some of you to hear. I know I don't like hearing that. And a lot of times, even when somebody warns me ahead of time, I still have to go and find out for myself why that person is being mistrusted by others, why I'm being warned about them. And then usually I'm like, oh, why didn't I listen? You know, like, but if you're not ready, you're not ready. And sometimes you have to find the hard truth out for yourself. Okay, my dear friends, I hope this was helpful. If it was, tell me how in the comment section. Give me topic ideas there as well. If you'd like to book a private reading, there are ways to do so in the description box. We'll see you in the next one, my friends. Take care. Bye. Hi, group 4. So if you picked the little pentacle star bell, let's go ahead and see what kind of fairy magic we have here. We have the Green Lady in reverse. That is one of the summer cards. See if I can get into her face there. I always try to zoom in on their faces because sometimes they'll look like somebody you know, and that'll just be like double confirmation that you're in the right place. Let's go ahead and look her up in the book. So we have the Summer Court, the Lady of the Summer Court, the King, the Queen, the Knave, the Lady. This card shows an auburn-haired forest fairy clad in green moss. In England, Green Lady is a term for dryads or tree spirits dwelling in oak, elm, apple, willow, holly, and yew trees. Permission had to be sought for the fairy before chopping down any tree, and primroses were planted beneath the trees as an offer to the Green Lady to solicit her blessings. Green, of course, is the color of growing things, and many nature fairies wear green dresses, jackets, or caps. Some even have green skin. In Scotland or Ireland, green is exclusively a fairy color, and until recently was considered very unlucky for humans to wear. My grandmother absolutely forbade the wearing of green clothes. Interesting. I don't totally not wear green. I tend to hide away from blue. And everybody's like, but blue looks so good on you. You have blue eyes. I'm like, that's just what you want me to do, Carol. It's what you're expecting me to do. So Okay, so that's a description of her. Let's look and see what the reversal meaning is for her. The green lady reversed indicates a lack of energy, ennui, loss of vitality, fatigue, and a lack of real purpose or direction. She may also reveal feelings of envy and jealousy. The green lady reversed may be a real person in your life, a lazy woman who is easily bored or discouraged, but who demands attention and comfort for her largely imagined ills. Interesting. Okay. A lot of things are coming through for this pile, so let me make sure I've got them all straight. So some of you might be having a lack of energy. Some of you might be feeling envious or jealous. Those of you who feel envious or jealous, I feel like you're worried about other women in your man's life, or other men in your woman's life, or women in your woman's life, men in your man's life, whatever the relationship genders are for you. It feels like romance jealousy. And maybe just jealousy of people that you perceive have things better than you. I get that. I'm like, it's not like I hate on them and want them to do poorly or try to like mess with their lives. But I get that whole like, why them and not me? Why can't I have lots of money? Why can't I be okay? That kind of thing. Oh, excuse me. Or there may be somebody in your life who's bored and discouraged, who demands attention and comfort. That could be the person you're sort of jealous of. Like I just heard like ex-girlfriend who might still be in, the guy's life, but you're with the guy now and they share kids. So she's always in your life. You can't ever get rid of her, so like ex vibes. Switch the genders if you need. Like she could pretend, and I'm just saying she because I keep seeing it as a she. This person could just pretend to like have issues so that the ex has to go and take care of them. And they might have started getting worse at doing that once you came into the picture is coming through. Or if it's just you being worried or jealous or envious of someone else because you're worried about your partner cheating, that's also coming through. For those of you that are envious or jealous or worried about cheating, I'm going to say right now that I don't see that happening in those scenarios at this time. It feels more like this is something you've got to work on that might be coming in from a past betrayal. Either they betrayed you in the past or you had like an ex who betrayed you in the past and now it's hard to trust the current. If like it's your person that you're with now, like cheated or betrayed you in the past, I totally get it if you can't trust them, because I wouldn't be able to, but that is nevertheless the message that is coming through. Let's get you some tarot and see what they have to say. Okay. We have the Keeper of Spells or the King of Wands. The Five of Swords or the Five of Challenges. Yes, this is making sense. The Six of Pentacles. And the Empress. Okay. And this will be our final advice card here in a second. So if this is about you worrying about your person falling back in love with their ex, or that ex always keeping them away from you, you guys are saying that your person is yours. There's no cheating going on. They don't want to be back together with their ex. That you might need to let go of those feelings of insecurity, because if you start to constantly worry about it, that could lead to accusations that aren't happening, which could lead to resentment for them. Easier said than done, I know. If this person betrayed you in the past, you either can trust them now or you can't. If you can't trust them now, it's probably best to let them go. I know that's hard to say, okay? But I mean, if you can't trust and it's always coming up and they're denying it, and you can't believe them, then it can't work. Uh, Five of Swords seems to be showing that person who is jealous, who, not you necessarily, but that negative person, you know, they said it was a woman in the cards, but someone being selfish, looking out for their own interests. You're seeing it. This person might not be talking about it as much, and it's not because they don't see it too, it's just because they're trying to avoid drama. Okay. So they're saying to let that go, to stay away from like that person as much as you can, to like not ask about them. You know, if they're talking about them all the time and it can be helped, it might be worth it to say, hey, I don't want to talk about your ex because it drives me crazy. That kind of thing. So like balance will be restored. See, she's out in the cold, but all these bunnies are keeping her warm. So the balance is going to be there. You do have protection through this. Good, abundant things are coming towards you. The Empress isn't somebody who's getting cheated on, for example. Okay. If you're worried about this person seeing their ex like this is how they see you. All right. Final advice. We have 9 of Swords. Yes, this is about fear. It's not about reality. Whatever you're worried about in this situation that's making you feel jealous or insecure, your guides are here to tell you that that's not what's happening, that you need to let that go and move forward. If you can't trust and let it go, that needs to be addressed as well. But yeah, that person that's in your life always because they're like the ex of your partner, try to let go of the jealousy. They're not after them anymore. Okay. I don't even see the ex going after them. I think they just like the control and the attention. And so they like constantly try to get them back in their circle that way. They also don't like them paying you so much attention. And so that's why they also try. Part of you might be really bothered that they don't seem to see it or they won't call them out on it. And like they do see it. They're just trying not to get involved. They try to just grin and bear it and get through it. They know that person has to be in their life because they've got kids or whatever. And so they just kind of want to move forward without talking about it and ruminating about it all the time. Okay, so that's just a fear, not reality. If this was helpful, tell me how in the comment section. Give me topic ideas there as well. If you'd like to book a private reading with me, there are ways to do so in the description box. My friends, hang in there. We'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.